Other than books, children learn really well while playing. So let's take a look at some educational toys today. In this episode, we are going to talk about educational toys. So in front of you, here are a few. Let us talk about it today. When we talk about educational toys, people would think of Legos and puzzles. But on the market now, there are various kinds of toys now. They also help train children different kind of skills like thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and all that. So first off, we're going to talk about this kind of creative and space feeling learning kind of toy. So it lets children assemble and disassemble, and look how thick they are. So the yellow ones are the connectors. So kids will be able to think and imagine what kind of things they want to create, and then step by step they could try and use these sticks and connectors to create what they want. And even it could be as big as, things that they could hide inside. Of course, they shouldn't climb on it, it's not so sturdy, but this can help them boost their creativity and learn about space. Exploring and playing with this set of toys with your children can help them learn about some mathematical sense, like the height, the width and the length, and long and short and all that. And they could also categorize things with different colors. So up next, here are a few puzzle kind of toys that could help the children to learn about shapes and size.
This one is magnetic book. We can open and see, and there is animals inside. There is some cards. Cow.
And what else?
Giraffe.
What's this?
Rhinoceros.
What's that?
Horse. Bear.
So there are 10 cards in total. You can see different patterns and colors they can learn. So this is how we play the game. When you open the box, there is this magnetic background, and then you will see some cards over there. So in total, I've told you there are 10 cards. And so these are all the cards with different colors and patterns and different animals. So you can teach them different animals. Like for example, you will get one of them, like the elephant, and then you will ask the children to get the head and the body of it, and then try to put them together. So this is just, the most common way of playing this set of games. And I will tell you some variations of how to play. For younger babies, you could simplify the game and just choose 2 cards and bring the body parts out there. Just try to ask them to match which ones belongs to which one, so they could have some attention put on those patterns and colors. So if they could just reorganize, like the blue ones are the elephant, put on one side, and the other one with stripes is the zebra, just put on the other side. You don't even have to ask them to make it into the elephant shape, but this will also be fine. So there are many varieties of this game. You could make different kinds of things out of it. Like you could also try to tell them about the head, the feet, and then you could try to have them talk about the patterns, the colors, and these are all the things when you simplify this. And you could have other ways of playing it, like you could make it into like a memory game. For instance, when you take this card out and you try to flip everything over and ask them where did you put which kind of animals. So you can have a lot of varieties. Just be creative when you play with that set of games. So instead of playing this game like, oh, this is the head, this is the body, and then let's stick it together, and then that's the feet and that's the bottom, so that's it. So for good games like this, children can learn different things like patterns and colors. They can learn different things at different age, so you could just play with them earlier and give guidance to them how to play this, so you don't have to just follow this one way of how to play this game, and that's not the only way. So by playing with this game, so you will be able to learn the patterns. Of course it looks quite cruel, like you cut up the animal, but they can get to learn about the head, the body and the bottom, so it could be still a good thing. Of course you will tell them you better not separate a real animal like this. So you can see this set is quite user friendly. You could just bring this box up, you don't have to worry where to lay out all the animals, and then they could simply stick on it, and then you could pull them all down once you're done. And they actually have different themes like the 4 seasons, what to wear and transportation. Just pull it down like this and you could take it out to play. And this game is called the Supermind Solutions. So you can see some different shapes of different colors and sizes, and there's this instruction card telling you how to make those shapes, and there are these different cards. So let me show you how to play, just give a brief example. So if we look at the instruction, you can see like a trapezium should be placed here. So as long as you get the correct shape and correct size, you'll be able to fit that in, and it's quite clear that you're correct or not. And then like this, you will put the circle as the head of this person, and then you will continue to put different parts as according to the instruction how it explains. You could put that over there. So while playing this game, the children can be more sensitive with the different shapes and size and colors for these patterns. So when they try to do all these, they will begin to understand so what kind of shapes and patterns can be combined into different kinds and new kinds of shapes. And for instance, if you put it at a higher level, for example, this area here, like the leg, you could put like a triangle upside down like this, and then a really tiny trapezium. But you could also tell your child there are other ways of doing it as well, and maybe you could put some squares and rectangles over there, and the formation of this pattern will be different, so they can learn about patterns and size and as well as different creativity. And then we have something similar called block buttons. So here comes like pieces of wood, and it's targeted at age 3 and up. So you can see how the box looks like, and when you hold it, it's quite solid and it's quite handy, and the texture is pretty good. So with the small hands of the infants and the toddlers, they could hold these. And then you can see there are 4 levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in terms of level difficulties, so the children would be able to start with level 1, and let us start with trying to work on this, the simplest one. So this is the one on the top with the purple one, and then in the middle there's a light green square, and then there's another like a Tetris shape. I don't know how to really call it, like the light blue color. So that's it, we have completed the first card. So this is how the kids will play this. So through playing this game, they can try to know how to position things on top, below, and they could try to come up with different shapes and size. So you could also try and talk to your kid about, how does this shape what is this shape made up of? So you can see there's like a rectangle, and then there's a square, and then they could move around. So you have the 3D version of this one. It's quite good for the kids to know, so they could start and think about, okay, how about this one? So how could we cut it up, and what kind of shapes makes this one? So you can see level 3 and 4, the level of difficulty progresses, and then it gets more and more challenging, so it's good to try. So about shapes and size, so we come to this 3D and overlapping ones. So this one is called color code, and I've heard that there are primary school who use this as the interview games, and you could see how there are different levels for starters and intermediate, like juniors. So and then you will be able to let's see how the shapes are made up of. So they will have this, how it looks like, and they will have the step-by-step guide telling you how to cover it up so that it became those shapes. So let's try to do the simplest one, to the top left one. So we could when the children will be searching through this pile of plastic, it's quite handy and thin. And then they will continue looking. They will continue look for those things. Like this one, we are looking for the orange square and the red square. So here comes the red one. So first of all, you place it there. You will follow the directions, and then you will place the orange one just on top. Alright, then it's just that simple. And then here comes the first shape. So you could guide your kid and talk to them about how to do it, and then you could add other shapes on top of it to have more creativity, to see how it goes. So in terms of this game, it's very handy, very light. They would have some basic ideas of, things overlapping, becoming different things, and how it looks. So the layering is also something they could learn from, other than the different shapes and irregular shapes and the colors. So this is, training their logic, training them to, see past things and make of different shapes. Here is a demonstration of three-dimensional toys, so also like building up image, building up things, but it becomes like 3D, three-dimensional. So there are 2 of these and different blocks, and then they actually tell you how many of each you would have on the box, and then you would know from the picture how to actually form those shapes, and becomes like a three-dimensional cube and stuff and like that. So it depends on different stage, different levels, so what they build is slightly different, and there are not just one way to build the shape. So you could vary, you could change the layers, you could change the way you figure it out, and there are like other cubes and stuff depending on the levels. So this also, instead of just a flat image, now it becomes 3D and pop up for your kid. And next you will see Mr. Potato Head. So this is quite a fun game. I'd like to let more people know. With this Mr. Potato Head, when you turn the top of to turn the head, and then you would pull them out. Here are the different little parts of it. There are hands and feet and small potatoes, and the eyes and nose and mouth. You could even pluck this out. So here comes this one, and you could fill it up, put another thing on top of it. So you could change how Mr. Potato Head looks like. So there are 2 medium ones, 2 smaller ones, and for demonstration purpose I already put in some eyes and mouth, and they have different shoes with different colors for male and female, and the hand gesture is slightly different, and the arm length is also different. So depending on which, there's this biggie nose, and the tongue is also this one. And you'll see, the eyes with the nose, and there's this moustache, and with a small hat for the smaller potatoes. And through this game, the children can actually know more about, the different body parts. They could play around with it. They could fit it into different shapes and size, different places, and they would have a sense of, how to make different faces. You could also talk to them about feelings and emotions, like how people would actually look. You could extend it to talk about feelings, not just this is the eyes and that's it. So this is very handy. They could be able to know more about feelings and shapes and colors and size, and it's quite creative. And I'd like to recommend to you these balance stepping stones. This is how they look like, and there are different colors, different height. Little brother Socks really enjoyed playing with it. He has been with these things for the past 30 minutes and he's still not tired of it. So you could always rearrange them into different sequins and different patterns. Here are all the toys I want to share with you in this episode. If you want to know more, don't forget to give me a comment. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, share and subscribe, Mrs. Socks. I'll see you in the next video.